This is VOA News. I'm Marissa Melton. A freshman Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives says she will vote to impeach President Trump when the House votes on Wednesday. AP correspondent Shelley Adler has more.
Michigan Representative Alyssa Slotkin, a freshman Democrat who flipped a battleground Republican seat, says she will vote to impeach President Trump. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin announced her decision in an op-ed in the Detroit Free Press. Then the former national security official attempted to explain why at a town hall.
That what we are doing, whether we agree or disagree, is exactly what our founding fathers designed 240 years ago. They asked us.
Slotkin represents the 8th Congressional District, which backed President Trump over Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election, but elected her in 2018 over a Republican incumbent. I'm Shelley Adler.
A senior U.S. diplomat on Monday made a last-minute plea for North Korea to re-enter nuclear negotiations. VOA's Bill Gallo reports from Seoul.
It's not too late for North Korea to engage in nuclear talks. That from Steve Biegun, the top U.S. envoy for North Korea, who's visiting Seoul this week. In recent weeks, North Korea has issued almost daily warnings about its end-of-year deadline for the U.S. to soften its stance on nuclear talks. North Korea has threatened to deliver an ominous Christmas gift, saying it's up to the U.S. what kind of present it will get. Biegun called those comments regrettable. Biegun's trip to Seoul comes days after North Korea conducted 2 tests, apparently of engines for long-range missiles. There are fears the North could soon resume long-range missile tests. Bill Gallo, VOA News, Seoul.
For more on this and other stories, you can visit us online at voanews.com. From Washington, D.C., you're listening to VOA News. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham met with leaders in Pakistan Monday to discuss a broader bilateral relationship with particular focus on economic cooperation and peace-building efforts in Afghanistan. In his meeting with Prime Minister Imran Khan, Graham hailed Pakistan's consistent support in the Afghan peace process, according to Khan's office. Officials quoted Graham as commending Pakistan's unilateral installation of a fence to secure its long and traditionally porous border with Afghanistan. While underscoring the importance of a peaceful and stable Afghanistan, Khan reiterated that Pakistan would continue to play its facilitating role in the Afghan peace and reconciliation process. Graham also visited Pakistan in February, paving the way for a meeting between Khan and President Trump at the White House in July. The United Nations AIDS Agency has fired 2 staffers for financial and sexual misconduct. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma has more.
One of the staffers is a whistleblower whose allegations of being sexually assaulted sparked months of turmoil at the organisation. Last March, Martina Brostrom publicly accused a senior UN AIDS director of forcibly kissing her and trying to drag her out of a Bangkok elevator in 2015. She also said he had sexually harassed her on other occasions. But before those allegations became public, Brostrom herself and a supervisor were being probed by UN officials for their own sexual and financial misconduct, as revealed in an Associated Press story in April. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
French labor unions are planning mass demonstrations for Tuesday, the 13th day of a transport strike that has closed most Paris metro lines and shut down all but a few commuter trains. The strike has also disrupted domestic and international train and airline service. The strike is meant to protest the government's plan to develop a universal pension scheme that would raise the retirement age from 62 to 64 and base earnings on the worker's entire career rather than the worker's highest income. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe said the changes would ensure the pension system is fair for a growing population, but union leaders have flatly rejected the plan. Amnesty International says Iranian authorities are continuing a campaign of repression following last month's nationwide protests, during which at least 304 people were killed. In a statement published on Monday, the London-based human rights watchdog said the authorities were carrying out a vicious crackdown, arresting thousands of protesters, journalists, human rights defenders, and students to stop them from speaking out about Iranian repression. The protest broke out in mid-November after the government announced it was raising fuel prices. Marissa Melton, VOA News.
The voice of